Hi, and thanks so much for joining me for this video comparing lots of Chantecaille items. If you'd like to see that, please keep watching. Now that I'm at the point where I have so many different Chantecaille items, I have items that are similar, either because they are the same product, like say the blushes, but they're in different colors. I also have powders and bronzers that are the same product, different shades. And I'll also be comparing items that do the same job, but are different products within the Chantecaille line. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already done my eye makeup. I used Marigold on the lid, all Chantecaille. I used Java in the crease. I used Opal up above, and then I used also a little bit of Chocolat on the corner. And I did go in with a bit of Cils, lots of neutral shades all together. So here's Marigold on the lid, Opal right here above. I kind of blended in Java in the crease, a little bit of Cils in there. Oh, and I did use Lapis right above the lash line, which is on top of the Violet, the liquid liner and mascara. Okay. And then on the lips, I have on the lip contour fill. I have on the lip liner in Natural. I have that with Tea Rose on top. So I just wanted something neutral for now, just because I think that will allow us to compare some of these things. But first, I did want to talk about two of the different waters that they have. So Rosewater, and they also have the new orange flower water. And I use both of these kind of interchangeably. They're both very lovely. So the Rosewater, the roses are grown in Grasse, France, next to the same flowers that are used in Chanel fragrances. There's a lot of history and heritage in that area. They are hand-picked in May, so there's only a very small window that they can harvest these flowers. And I believe there are something like 2,000 petals in each bottle, and every year is a little bit different because it's kind of like a wine depending on the roses that year, depending on the harvest. And then the orange flower water, this is also steam distilled, and this one claims to have a calming effect. So I like using them both. It's kind of like my preference for the fragrance that day. So I'll spray on half here. Oh yeah, there's a difference in pricing. And then just price point wise, this is $68 for 125 mils. And then this one is $75 for 100 mils. So this is a little bit less, just a little bit less expensive, but I will use these throughout the day. I'll use them before I go in with a solution. So there's a lot of purposes for those. They both have a lovely aromatherapy effect to them as well. I know many of you probably have both, but I just wanted to mention those two. Let's go in with these blushes first before I put any makeup on, because I think these do really well on just skin without makeup. So we'll go in with Lively and Happy. So Lively is a peachier tone, Happy is more of a pink tone. I also have Vibrant, but these two are lighter. So I thought we could go in and just do a side by side, so you can see what they look like on. Now my skin has, gosh, the tan that I got in Hawaii is pretty much gone at this point. I'm almost to the point of the coloring that I was before I went on vacation. There's Happy, and then this is Lively. So this is Lively here. So you can see the difference. I think the main difference, warmer versus cooler. I think it's more evident on bare skin. So if you are a very minimal makeup person and you don't wear foundation, I love both of these. So depending on your look, you might want one over the other, or you might prefer warm versus cool, or maybe you would like both, but at least you can see the difference. Best applied for me when I just pat on with my fingertips. Oh wait, let me do this. Anti-pollution mattifying cream right in the center. So we're gonna use these, they're both in 4C. And this is the stick one, it's the Real Skin Plus. You can use this under the eyes, you can use it on the skin. Now, even though they're both 4C, they look a little bit different to me, and this one is a little bit drier. So that's why I love using this on my eyelids as a primer. In fact, I used it today as a primer, but I thought we would go under the eyes. Oh, I've had a hair lash. I've had an eyelash here the whole time. So I thought we could go under the eye and then also in this area and just use it as a concealer. So just like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this one, the Camoflauge Stylo in 4C. And you'll see the difference. This seems a bit warmer, and this one seems a bit brighter and also a bit cooler. I needed to go get my brush. I've become accustomed to using this Sublimage brush as a concealer brush. So just going underneath, we'll blend everything in. So here is the Real Skin and 4C on this side. I'm gonna need a little bit more there. And here is the 4C like Camoflauge Stylo over here. And I just flipped the brush over so it's a different surface. There is a greater level of coverage with this product, but again, also drier. So it does have the potential of bringing out texture. This one is a nice and lightweight, more reflective in its surface though. Doesn't absorb light as much as this one does, but it's a little bit lighter in color. So if I were going to use one, I think for my whole face, I actually would probably use this one because it's a little bit more lightweight, and because here, I do not worry, but I try to avoid products that will add texture. So that's why this one is the one I would prefer to use. Now, if your skin is more oily, it actually might like this one though. And I am more oily, but I have texture as well, so I do have to think about that. So again, Real Skin, like Camoflauge Stylo. So even though on application they look a little bit different, it doesn't make that much of a difference once they're on. What does make a difference is the kind of finish that you want, as well as less or more coverage, and if you have texture or not. So I would go with this one personally. So I'm gonna even up both of the sides. I'm also going to use this though on the exterior to even these out. So we definitely do that with the Real Skin versus the La Camoflauge Stylo, because I do need something drier in this area and something more opaque. I just tried something to see if I could get the opacity of coverage with the more natural finish of the Camoflauge Stylo. So I took a little bit of this and I'm gonna do that right under here because I have a little spot there that's still a little bit deep. So I'm gonna add that. So that does more of the coverage, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of La Camoflauge Stylo, put that on the back of my hand, like this. And then I'm gonna take the same brush, and this is a little bit big for that, but I'm taking that and I'm going to just dot it on. So that way I get that same lovely, more skin-like finish that La Camoflauge Stylo delivers, plus the opacity of the Real Skin, because I feel like the Real Skin just has a little bit more of a drier finish than I like. Oh, I also pulled these, so make sure to stay tuned for these, because I'm gonna do these, the comparison between Vetiver, Cedra, and Vetiver. So I've been curious myself about the difference between the deep shade, is that what they call it? Yeah, medium deep, and this is light medium. So we are gonna try them side by side and see what the difference is. I'm gonna use the same brush, but I'm gonna start with the lighter shade first. Buff and Blur brush, the smaller one, the travel one, I think is what they call it, I think. So we're gonna take this and just, this is where I typically use it, in the middle here. But I'm gonna take it all the way on my forehead so you can see, depending on your shade, how it will look. Usually I don't take this all the way up, but just for comparison. So my forehead is deeper than the rest of my face. I feel like this has quite a range in terms of how tan you can be and still make this work. So you can see, it does lighten up everything, but I think it's great for this center part of my face. I feel like you can use this in lieu of foundation. That's how nice of a powder this is and how much more coverage you can get with this powder. So we're gonna go in now with this on the side of my face. So let's start on the forehead. So I just cleaned off my brush a little bit here. Actually, let's start off on the exterior. We're gonna go on the forehead, so you'll really see the difference. It'll be interesting to see if I can even this out. But I think you can see that it's really a good shade for my forehead. And then we're gonna take it all the way up to the front, so then you'll see. There is a difference. So it's a little bit too deep for the center of my face, but it's perfect for my forehead. So I think I'm actually a pretty good illustration of the defining point where you would decide if you were light medium or medium deep. Because if you are the shade of my forehead, you'll want medium deep. If you are the shade of the middle of my face, you'll want light medium. That is the difference. I hope that helps you. I think I might dust this on. That might be great, or just on the exterior, like I said. So here's the difference though. And I feel like the peachy tone in this one helps to correct this dark spot a little bit more over here. So depending on your purpose as well, that might make a difference. But now the challenge is going to be to try to even this up. Yeah, let's try and even this up. Let's go in with the medium deep on the exterior over here. So this is probably the best way for me to use this. So I'm right in the middle. Would use it on the exterior. Gosh, almost as a bronzer. It's a beautiful finish. And I would keep the center lighter. So for reference, my head is like the shade of wheat, or even a little bit deeper than wheat. The middle of my face is more like the shade nude in the cushion foundation. Also, cream in the Future Skin is a great match for the center of my face. Okay, so you can see the difference and why I would use them differently, because yeah, like right here, it makes such a difference. But now this one looks okay, having evened out the exterior, and then just have this brighter. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to take this or bring this or brighten it up. Let's see, because that looks really different. I'm looking in the viewfinder for my mirror. I'm going in with a light medium now, trying to even this out. So I'm taking a little bit of the medium deep over here. So we're just gonna be a little bit more tan today, I think. That's the best I can do right now. So no foundation. You can see what a beautiful, perfected look you can get without foundation and just these powders. And I love the way it feels. I thought we'd compare two bronzers. So we've got Serena over here, and we have Goa and Serena. Goa is more like a cooler, there's some more red in here, and this is more golden, Serena. So let's do Serena here, Goa here, and then we'll take a look and see how they look. I'm gonna take my Ray Morris brush here. It does a really nice job of picking up pigment. So there is Goa, which actually I think if you are wearing medium deep, this one will work nicely with that. Not that you can't wear, I think it's more of an undertone thing, honestly, with these two. And I prefer golden, but it seems to be working better with more of a tan, the Goa. But it's almost like a blush because it has some red in it. I mean, I think they'll both work on me. I just pull for Serena more. I like a more golden bronze. I think Serena's more golden. There's Serena. Yeah, you can definitely see you've got more of a golden tone here. Serena versus Goa. Serena here, Goa here. Golden and more of like a reddish undertone. So for me, like I said, I prefer Serena just because I like a more golden bronze, but I also think this works. Adding it to the side so we can get a little bit more balance. Taking Serena over on this side. Oh yeah, I wanted to, now that I've powdered, let's see, make sure I'm powdered here. I wanted to use the eyebrow gels. So I have here the clear gel, and I have here the tinted gel. So this one obviously has color, the gel and tint. It has peptides that help promote fuller looking brows. Quick drying formula adds volume and texture to each hair. And I like this one. I feel like this one might actually have more hold. It also adds color. So depending on maybe the thickness of your brows, or if you need to fill in between, I do feel this has a greater amount of hold though, in general. And then if you have brows that don't require as much hold, or if they're really full anyway and you just kind of want to get them in the same direction, the clear one is a good one. To me, it's a more natural look whenever I use a clear brow gel, but sometimes I do want a more bold brow. So there's the difference between the tinted and the clear. The one that's tinted has a longer hold, in my opinion, compared to this one. It's a little bit softer over time. Let's look at what this one says about the clear one. Full brow gel glides on effortlessly to tame unruly brows without leaving them stiff or sticky. That's accurate. Sets, defines, and holds brows throughout the day. Can be paired with a waterproof definer, which I did, for fuller, shinier brows, it says. Panthenol helps strengthen the brow hair here. Is there a price difference? This one's $40, the clear one, and this one is also $40, so same price. This one also says it has panthenol to help strengthen brow hair. So they both condition the brows nicely. I haven't tried this. Let's see if these blushes work on top of the powder. I'm wondering if you can even see it over here. I've added so much color to my cheeks and my face. You can see though how much deeper that powder made everything, because you could see the blush a little bit easier before, I think. Actually, it's applying quite nicely on top of powder. It's not really interrupting or disrupting that. It has a bit of a sheen as well. Then going in with Lively over here, the warmer of the two. Happy, Lively. Now, what we're going to do is try and even them up. Just taking a little bit of Vibrant, I'm gonna add that as a pop of color on the cheeks as well. This is the shade. Nice and Vibrant. Okay, and then let's take a little bit of the Flower Power blush. I think I saw this pop up maybe back on the Chantecaille site. I'm not sure. I've seen it though, the Flower Power cheek shade, so hopefully it's available by the time this goes up. I'm gonna use that to kind of fuse everything together. You can see quickly how Vibrant really kind of took it up a notch, even though I didn't really add it anywhere else except that very concentrated area. And we're gonna take a little bit of light medium and just buff that all in. Yeah, let me just intensify this eye just slightly, find a lip, and then we're gonna compare the fragrances. So I just added a little bit more of the eyeshadow, like Java underneath, Cell a little bit underneath, and I think that was it. I decided to stick with my original lip color. I used the lip contour fill, the lip liner in Natural. I went in with Tea Rose, and then, is that what I started with? I went in with Tea Rose this time, and then I put a little bit of gloss in the middle here. I used the shade, oh gosh, Lucky, the one that's a little bit peachier, just right in the center. Almost forget every time to use this, but I remember to, I just took my Shiseido brush. This is my second one because I have another one. This is reserved for foundation, and here's the powder one. So I use this to apply foundation, and then I just went over and kind of buffed everything in just to perfect. I think it's called a polishing brush actually. So just kind of went over everything like that, just to get a little bit more perfecting. Because originally I had purchased this brush because I had a brush before, it looked like a hairbrush, and you just did this to sweep off excess powder. I think I saw one by like Besame or something, but then I couldn't find it again. So then I thought, let's just use this. I may have missed something that I was wanting to compare, but if there's something else, we'll do another one. But here are the two fragrances. So I looked up Vetiver as well as Vetiver Cedra, and I checked the differences and similarities between the two, but I'm gonna spray them because I'll try and smell like what comes out versus what I read. So Vetiver Cedra over here. I love that one. And then we'll spray Vetiver on this side. Okay, while I let those settle in for a second, obviously the bottles are different. This one's got very clean, simple lines. This one has a more floral kind of design on it with the frosted, I was gonna call it iced, the frosted glass, and then the tops are different as well. Let me just smell them first. They're very close, but they're also distinctly different. They both have that vetiver scent. There's something softer about the vetiver, which is what I would expect. Sylvie Chantecaille says, this is the most elegant men's fragrance. In my opinion, the man who wears it is urban, sophisticated, and all-encompassing cool guy. And I can definitely see that. Bergamot, grapefruit, pink pepper, juniper, and nutmeg are the top notes. Mid notes, cedarwood, oil, geranium, iris. And dry down, vetiver, patchouli, benzoin, and musk. And I looked up what benzoin is. Okay, so benzoin, it says, is a rich gum resin obtained from the bark of a group of trees called styrax. It smells sweet and smooth like vanilla, or it can smell rich and ceremonial like incense does, or be sharply gourmand and balsamic. So there's quite a range for what benzoin can smell like. I don't know if I'm mixing that up with the patchouli in here, but there is that slightly incense base to it. Not distracting, but there's something kind of hiding in there. Then for the vetiver, top notes are citron, nutmeg, juniper, cypress. Mid notes are muguet, So I looked that up. It's a lily of the valley, so very green. Then cedarwood and iris, dry down vetiver, vanilla, musk, sandalwood. Okay, if I had to really distinguish the two, there's more of like a base to this one. While the notes are very, very similar, this is lighter in general. I'm gonna say that's the biggest difference. And then if you look at the notes here, bergamot, grapefruit are stronger in this one, and I love those notes. And this one has pink pepper and juniper. So there are some sharp notes in there, and they both have nutmeg on the top notes. Then for the mid notes, again, cedarwood, oil, geranium, iris. And this one has that cedarwood as well and iris, but the muguet. Let me see how to pronounce that. Okay, wow, this is all over the place. So it's muguet, I don't know. But the one that's lily of the valley, that's what's different in here compared to this one. So this has geranium versus that, although I think they both smell green to me. And then the dry down, there's the benzoin in here versus vanilla in here, patchouli in here, and sandalwood in here. So maybe that's where I'm picking up the base in this one. Okay, so then there's also like a soapier kind of element to this one. So if you want something that's a cleaner smell, like more of a soapy clean smell, it doesn't smell like soap, but there's something in there that's making it like a soapier smell. This one is more, like I said, it's lighter and it's a little less intense. I hope that helped you. I mean, the difference is, I guess, in the end, similar to the difference in the bottles. So this is more masculine looking and this is more feminine looking. Same thing, a little bit more masculine smelling, a little bit more feminine smelling, but they're quite close. Definitely more of like a full smell on this one, full bodied. So those are all the things I can think of, at least at this point, of Chantecaille items that I have that are similar or the same product in different shades. Hopefully that helps you in case you were ever wondering the difference between those, because those are things I've always wondered about. Let me know if there are other things you would like me to compare, not just from Chantecaille, but from other lines. I'd be happy to do that. But that's it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.